got stuck with Grandma's name for a middle name. Her name was Joyce Wilhelmina. Grandma's name was Wilhelmina Catherine, and she just went by Minnie K. Robertson.
But you're saying Joyce's middle name was Wilhelmina?
Was Wilhelmina.
That's a mouthful.
Well, Lee only used her middle name just like Amy. Amy's name is Susan Amy. Lee's name was Minnie Lee. And she did use Minnie in school, but never out of school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it was Betty Jean, Joyce Wilhelmina, and Minnie.
Her legal name's Elizabeth.
Yeah, okay.
That's a lot to write on a check when you can't write.
Yeah. So Elizabeth Jean, Joyce Wilhelmina, and Minnie Lee.
Mm-hmm. And then when I was about 18 or so, my father remarried and had 3 more children, Leroy, Darlene, and Ronnie. And I've only seen him one time at his funeral. But I do try to keep in touch with Darlene. God, she'd be in her 50s by now, 60s maybe.
Probably older than that, right?
Yeah. It's hard to believe, yeah.
Well, I would say, because how old do you think you were when your father had those other kids?
I'm not sure.
Well, 50 or 60s.
20s.
So they would be more like 70 or 80.
Yeah.
Not 50s or 60s. You've lost 20 years there. I'm 61.
Man.
So did you know about your step siblings before your dad's funeral?
Yeah, I knew about him.
But you had never met them.
His wife was a really nice woman that kept me in touch with everything.
I mean, how often did you see your dad once your mom and dad got divorced?
Well, we were living elsewhere.
Yeah.
We weren't living in the same town anymore.
So you didn't see him.
And I'm not sure exactly where they did live. But we exchanged letters. Her name was Anne also.
Her name was Anne?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she had been married before and had other children too, but they were grown.
So how old were you when Granny married her second husband?
That's the one I don't like to think about. I don't remember.
Because the only one I remember is Smitty.
Everybody remembered Smitty.
That's the only one I remember.
Smitty was a good guy. He was fun.
So he probably was. I know that they were married when I was little, but I don't know when they split up.
Well, you know what? You remember what Smitty looked like. He was not a big guy.
No, I remember that.
Guy.
Yep.
Women would not leave that man alone. Women chased him. He was a city bus driver. And I guess I rode his bus when I was a school child and didn't know it at that time.
Yeah.
Because I was old and married when I met him. But Ed, the second husband, I never did care for him. And I almost made a very serious mistake one day. Because by then we had 2 or 3 kids. I don't remember which one was we might have had 3 and we were going to leave the baby with my mother while we went shopping. And when we went in her apartment, Smitty was running around and I saw he had a gun tucked in his waistband. And I really thought, can I take that gun away from him?
Smitty or Ed?
And then my mother just kindly to one side said, get lost, get on out of here.
So but wait a minute, which husband, I lost train of thought there, had the gun?
Huh?
Which husband had the gun?
Ed.
Ed, not,
Ed Walker.
yeah, not Smitty.
He was not,
So how long were they married?
gee, I don't know.
Roughly how old were you when they were married?
I was trying to remember what kids we had then.
Oh, so this was after you were married. You were.
Yeah. Yeah. Originally, she sued for divorce when I was 7 years old. But in May of 37, well, in the first place, in 1937 was the 37 flood,
Mm-hmm.
and we had 4 foot of water in our house. So we were off somewhere else. And then when we actually moved back into the house, and I don't remember much about it. It was just a little 1-bedroom house. But in May of that year, I looked up at what I was in a school in the I think I was at the end of the first grade. And my Aunt Ann, my mother's oldest teacher, was standing there talking to the teacher. And after she left, the teacher, Miss Stock, came and talked to me, and she said, "Your mother has been taken to your Aunt Ann's house, and I'm to take you home there from school." So my school was on Columbia Street, which ran straight across town to Main Street. Aunt Ann lives in an apartment on Main Street over Household Finance, where she lived. And I remember there was a long stairway going up to it. Well, my teacher took me home, and I came back to school the next morning, and she said, "How did you get here?" I said, "I walked." Now that was 6 or 8 blocks straight down the street till I came to my school. Once I crossed Main Street from Aunt Ann's apartment, it was pretty much an easy walk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess she took me home again, and she told him I didn't need to come back. School was almost over, and I'd been promoted to 2nd grade. And so then we got shipped off to Huntingburg. As soon as, first, while we were at Aunt Ann's, they took Mother to the hospital. And I can still see her going down them stairs on a stretcher. Just steep stairs. And they let me, she was in a room in the basement of Deaconess Hospital.
What for?
Ruptured appendix.
Oh.
Ordinarily, she should have died. That was before penicillin or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she lived. She was in the hospital 6 weeks, and Uncle Charlie or somebody took us to Grandma and Grandpa's, except Lee was only 2 years old. So she went to Aunt Letts, who had only 1 son. She had a son that was about 3 or 4. But Joyce and I were 7 and 5. So we were sent to Grandma and Grandpa's for the whole summer, and it was a wonderful summer.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of August, Mother was able to show up there.
Mm-hmm.
She was very thin and very trim, but she was in good health again.
Did Granny always smoke?
As far as I remember.
As far as you remember, even as a little girl, she always smoked.
Because the time I was 11 or 12, I was using their cigarettes too.
Yeah, just like Joyce and Lee.
Luckily, I quit, but Joyce and Lee kept on smoking.
Right.
And you know where they've been for a long time.
Yep. So, what Do you remember about what year Smitty came into the picture that he married Granny? Do you remember about what year Smitty married Granny?
Not really.
Oh,
How much do you remember about Smitty?
well, he had a 53 Oldsmobile with a straight 8.
But that's not the information I want, Steve.
You want to know when he was there?
Yeah, because I remember him as a kid.
Well, he took me to my first professional baseball game. Evansville had a team.
So what era
At
are
that stadium where Roger Marialis filmed that.
yeah, the baseball movie.
Bossy Field. And their team name was Evansville something.
Okay, so
It's a AA team, AAA.
so are we gonna come up with a year?
Guy's name was Reggie
How old were you
Alvarez.
at the time?
Huh?
How old were you at the time?
I was about 13, and after the game, we went to a bar.
So nobody's going to tell me about what year Smitty came into the picture.
Well, he came in and out twice.
Oh, so